Does that concern you? Your communications?
Well, here's the thing.
Is it giving it pause? Giving you pause?
It does. I don't send emails and I don't receive emails. You cannot email me directly. All my emails go through a surrogate in my office who's a senior guy, and I only see things that he shows me. Some things are garbage I don't get. I see all the things about charities and so on that people want me to participate in, stuff like that. But I don't actually. An email will never come from me. It will always go through a third party witness. So I don't participate.
But you email friends though. You must have.
I do not email friends.
Do you text them?
I text them.
Okay, interesting.
Wow, that is very interesting, and that's strategy.
The Todd Shapiro Show.
How was Halloween? I'm like trying to start on a lighter note.
I actually didn't get to celebrate Halloween with my daughter. My ex-wife decided she was going to take her to some event with her friends and their daughters and sons, and it was like a men not allowed kind of thing. So they went to some like horror house at the Cadbury warehouse or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, apparently it was very scary, and but I didn't actually get to take her out this year, which was a bummer.
Oh, did you dress up anyway?
I don't dress up. I have never ever.
Come on.
Actually,
As a kid,
I did a well, fuck yeah, as a kid I did.
Okay.
I actually did a fashion show, and I had to wear makeup and a wig, and that's the only time I've ever done that. I'm not a very fun person when it comes to costumes.
We should do that for you next year. Let's do a Brad J. Lamb makeover on Halloween.
Yeah, we won't be doing that.
Did you have a drag name when you were in that outfit?
No, I didn't have a drag name. I was a supermodel. I had I was a dude in nice clothing, and I had to walk the runway, and
You're too sexy for your hat. You're like that guy.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
I put that guy on.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that must be fun getting in touch with the creative side.
I was so hammered when I did that. Only way I would have done that is if I was hammered.
That's
and
funny.
I was hammered.
Do people try and those who know you well, and you're such a respected businessman, and you're a very outgoing personality and a very strong personality at that too. And there's a reason for your success because you're very knowledgeable and a visionary. But do people ever try and break down the big wall, the big Brad Lamb sort of barrier to like try and get out that kind of fun side, knowing that it's chirping you, knowing that you don't want to do that stuff like your boys?
Well, don't misunderstand me. I'm fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when I go out with when I go out with a woman, or my ex-wife would tell you, or anyone else I've been with, and my friends say I'm a fun guy. I'm just not fun when it comes to costumes. I just can't do it.
Like
I don't know.
It's
I always feel like I look like such a fucking knob in a costume. I just can't do it.
That's kind of the point, Andrew.
Everyone does.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't
You
have
see
that in me.
Bilal in his Anthony Weiner outfit.
Okay.
Well, he looks like
Did I
Anthony
mention
Weiner.
that? Did I mention that?
He does.
Everybody
He looks
can
like
say
Anthony
that.
Weiner.
Yeah, I
He
know.
does look like Anthony
He's
The South
Indian,
Asian
half
Anthony
Pakistani.
Weiner.
Yeah, that's great. Speaking of Weiner, who's sort of...
Do you have a crazy six-pack?
Yeah, let's see.
All right.
Oh, yeah, he does have a good six. Do you have a little wiener? Because his wasn't that big when he's... Anyway.
Prefer not to disclose that.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, though, I think, buddy. Okay, anyways. Speaking of Wiener, he's sort of a part of this reinvestigation into Hillary Clinton and this and the emails exchanges. They're investigating him for being a perv, essentially. And through that, and through Wiener's wife, and through the connection there, they found, Hillary's got more emails going to him now, or more texts, so we're going to find this out. Are you following all this still, Brad? And next week, we will have an answer, actually, by the time you're on next week, who the next president.
Yeah, I'm following it. I'll tell you this: whether or not there's anything to it, here's the thing: Hillary Clinton was warned, "Do not use your personal server for this job," and she said, "Fuck you! I'm using my personal server." So you have to live with the consequences of your decision. I mean, the concern at the time, why you shouldn't use your personal server in your mansion in wherever it was, New York City, was because there's risks, and the risks are that things can leak. So if there's a risk that something leaked, you only have to look at yourself for that. Like, stop blaming everyone else. You shouldn't have done it. You were told not to. Everyone advised you not to do it. She's the only one that's ever done it. She has only self to blame.
One of the problems is because these communications, and organizations that take so long to actually move these big whales, these Titanics, when it comes to policy, these communications have been so new, and hacking, etc., and all of the engineering refinements that go on with the digital age, this is now policy is now keeping pace with capabilities, and that's also one of the problems. It shouldn't have and never been allowed. It should have been verboten. There shouldn't have been any question whether you could use a personal server.
No, it was allowed because she's Hillary Clinton, and she's been a power base in American politics for 30 years. And she said, "Fuck you. You want me to do this job? I'm going to do it. This is the way it is." I mean, she was warned clearly.
Well, it's funny how
But the White House knew about it. I mean, everyone knew she had a personal server.
And what's interesting is how everyone's on Trump. Oh, if he ever got there, we'd worry about the security of our country and
but there have
this
been
top
no
secret
hacks.
information.
Her personal server has not been hacked, though. I mean, the issue is it's about government property is essentially the issue. And she shouldn't be determining what's government business and what's her own business.
But she also shouldn't have been doing it. And then why would the American public want to trust her if she's breaking such a simple...
I don't know about that. I mean, American public trusting her. I think she's probably a trustworthy leader. I don't trust Hillary Clinton thing. She's as trustworthy as any president would be, I think. But what I'm saying, this one issue where it's blowing up in her face at the end of the election. And, she's pointing fingers at the head of the FBI, and she's, castigating Trump for making a big deal about it. She only has herself to blame. Maybe they let her do it. That's fine. But there was clear warning. Don't do it. No one else has. And she said, no,
Correct.
I'm going to do it.
You're right.
So now live with your decisions. She has to live with her decisions. If she hadn't have done this, if she made this decision, this would not be an issue at the last hour of this election.
Are you careful about your emails? I mean, you run a big company. Brad Lamb is one of the best builders in the country, without question. You've also done the best job of branding your organization and yourself.
Yeah.
No, it's a wonderful success story. Are you? Does that concern you? Your communications?
Well, here's the thing.
Is it giving you pause? Giving you pause?
It does. I don't send emails, and I don't receive emails. You cannot email me directly. All my emails go through a surrogate in my office who's a senior guy, and I only see things that he shows me. Some things are garbage I don't get. I see all the things about charities and so on that people want me to participate in, stuff like that. But I don't actually. An email will never come from me. It will always go through a third-party witness. So I don't participate.
But you email friends, though. You must have.
I do not email friends.
Do you text them?
I text them.
Okay, interesting.
Wow, that is very interesting. And that's strategy. Because people...
Absolutely.
One of the things, and I was saying earlier in the program, I've been very fortunate because I've rubbed shoulders with a lot of very successful people who are pretty wealthy. But there's a lot of things that you would have to think of that really a lot of us wouldn't have to think of. Or maybe we should more. But, I mean, it's because people are out to get wealthy people, aren't they, sadly?
Well, I think that is partially true. I also think that in my personal case, smart or not, 30 years ago, I decided to name everything after me. And so by doing that, I put myself out there as a public figure, good or bad, and I have to live with it. So there's a lot of nasty shit that goes on in my life because of that. And so I just have to protect myself from that. And so part of it is that. Part of it is also that I can't deal with the amount of email that comes to me, even though I don't give my email address out to anybody. If it's a business relationship, they know where to send it. It's this anonymous email in my office. But I also did it to preserve time because I just don't have time to read email and sort through it. It's just I can't be efficient in my life with that.
I find that really interesting. So your organization, you're able to be more effective by not being overloaded by communications then.
Yeah.
So your guy, what's the priority you're able to pick and choose? You're not distracted all the time. I find this really interesting.
Well,
That's maybe one of the reasons that you do so well.
Well, and a lot of people, even in their whether it's social media or whatever it is, like they're not spending the time doing what they could probably be doing best, which could probably help their income at the end of the day and their livelihood. They're getting distracted.
Focus.
For sure. I'll tell you, I have a social media office. Like there's someone who, and we're expanding it, that does all my social media. And we're okay at it. The reason why we're going to expand is because we need to be better. We need to participate in it.
I got a guy for you, by the way.
It does,
I'm being serious.
It does flow through me. I see it, but I don't participate exactly the way most people do with sending it out themselves. But this is the thing. I can manage. I can manage more myself as a developer than anyone else on the planet because I don't deal with email. Like I can manage. Right now, I'm managing 17 high-rise buildings across Canada, and I am involved in every aspect of the design. I actually help design the floor plans, all the facilities, what the building looks like. I sit down with the architect myself and go through all of those elements, and we're super efficient at it now. We don't have to meet anymore. It's just emails back and forth. I get a package, a printed package that's emailed to someone, and I go through it with a pen. I mark it up, it gets sent back to him. So we're an incredibly efficient unit, and I couldn't do it, honestly, if I was a slave to my social media or my email.
And they phone you if there's an issue, and you talk in real time, looking at plans, etc.
Exactly. And here's the other thing. Problem with email is things go back and forth, not much gets done. But if I have a package in front of me, say, grab the package, let's go through it, I'll go through page 1, page 2, page 3 very quickly and go through all the things I want to change, and then they have it and they send it back to me. So I can design a new building. I can design a brand new building in 4 weeks, a high-rise building.
You still can't make a bed, though. Okay.
I can make an amazing bed, but I never do.
Exactly. Okay, so you
Never
could. Buzz Homes recently featured some offensive, inappropriate, hilarious real estate advertisements collected over the past several years. And your ads were actually commented on multiple times as being very funny and very lighthearted, having a great sense of humor. Are we ever going to go sort of see those types of ads?
See?
Yes.
I had a sense of humor, right?
Yeah, then you got too serious on us. No.
No, you know what? I did all those ads because I was probably number one in the city in selling condos at the time, real estate. And everyone's always, standing upright saying number one in this and number one in that. There's like thousands of number one agents in any city, right? And I just thought I'm going to make fun of that, and so I turned myself upside down. I did a sexy lying on my logo like a Brad Pitt pose, or Burt Reynolds pose, if everyone even knows who Burt Reynolds is anymore. When he had the do you know Burt
I know
Reynolds?
you. Well, of course, Smokey the Bandit. I know.
Bilal has his picture.
Okay.
Bilal loves Burt Reynolds.
He got in a lot of trouble. I think it was Cosmopolitan magazine where he lied with a snake, I believe, wrapping his genitals. And it was before the Academy Awards were going to come out for that year.
Might have been Playboy even.
No, it was Cosmopolitan.
Okay,
and it was Deliverance was the movie he was in, and he was supposed to win an Academy Award. Everyone thought he was going to win the Academy Award. And because he came out and he did this, people thought that he wasn't a serious actor.
Oh, fuck.
And he blamed that, or he blames that. Anyway, I did a play on that, and I've done like myself in space with little booties, putting my head on a lamb. I did
that was a big. I mean, that was.
That, yeah.
So are you going to go back to that?
No, because because it was done. It was done with me as a real estate agent.
I see.
And I just, when I'm borrowing the amount of money I borrow, I need the bank people to think I'm a serious business person.
A good
They
point.
can't think I'm a tool.
I'm surprised you come back on this show.
Even though I am a tool, they can't think I'm a tool.
They can't think it.
Burt Reynolds is doing a sequel to. Did you know that?
Here we
and
go.
Bilal's pushing for it. He's been trying to Smokey and the Bitch, and Bilal loves the concept.
Okay.
Hey, Bilal.
As the bitch.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. Game 7 tonight. Very exciting times. Are you going to watch the game?
Yeah, I'm going to watch again.
Yeah. Who are you going for?
You know what? For some reason, I don't even know why, but I think for some reason I'm kind of hoping that Cleveland wins. Yeah. Don't know why.
Just to sort of keep that streak going because it's so fun to talk about.
I mean, Chicago has been out to lunch a long time, in the baseball scene with the Cubs. But I don't know. I just think like what's going on in Cleveland's amazing, and I like these rebirth stories for cities. And a lot of good things have happened in the last 3 or 4 years, and I think it can't hurt Cleveland to have this happen. It'll be, like a jolt of confidence. People will spend more money downtown. I think they'll get more fans going
Is it coming
forward.
back, Cleveland?
It absolutely is. If you go to Cleveland, like I went to Cleveland 5 or 6 years ago, and the difference today is dramatic. And I'll tell you, LeBron James actually has a lot to do with it.
Wow.
He's actually helping reinvigorate some neighborhoods there, and there's investment. There's new hotels.
Wow.
There's a new W hotel, I believe. There's also a Ritz-Carlton now in Cleveland.
I mean, that's an amazing story. I'll tell you, because we got to know some of the Cleveland fans because we were chirping them when Toronto was playing. We did a lot of phone calls back and forth with them, and we ended up really liking them. Like we wanted to kind of go at them as a sort of hardcore and actually start this sort of war. And then what we learned about them is they reminded me a lot of sort of at least Torontonians when I was growing up, between the age of being a super baseball fan when you had time to really watch all the games. But 20 to 35-year-old sort of, you weren't so worried about business or family and stuff after that, but actually being self-deprecating and fun. Like they weren't too serious like you might have heard other Americans would be. They had a sense of being able to laugh at themselves, and I actually really got to like the type of people in that community. It's nice to know that's flourishing and there's good people there. Does that go hand in hand, or does that not matter?
Well, it's a city that it's kind of a have-not city. Well, it is a have-not city, becoming have more city perhaps. And I think that there's an inferiority complex in cities like that. Hamilton kind of suffers from the same thing. These are cities on the upswing. They're great. They're formerly great cities. You know, Cleveland was where the richest man really in the world ever came out of. Like Rockefeller started his fortune in Cleveland, the oil business. Cleveland used to be an oil center.
Wow.
And he, eventually moved to New York when he got very, very large. But Cleveland was quite the hub many, many years ago, and it will be again. It's a great, it's one of the cities. It's not going to get swamped when the rains come. It's going to be above water. It's got all the infrastructure of a good city. They need to rebuild some of it, but it's all there. So I think a lot of people are going to come back to the north where there's fresh water and they're not being flooded. And I think Cleveland's one of the cities that's going to survive.
So you mentioned Hamilton. I was in downtown Hamilton last week, and there was a homeless woman who was urinating in the middle of the street. And then I realized that's a counselor. It's a Hamilton counselor.
Did you know who she was?
It's a wild city hall. That no, I didn't. I recognized her just from the website for Hamilton counselors.
I'm sure.
Isn't that funny though?
It's pretty
And
interesting.
you wonder
actually.
why the city has trouble.
But it's coming on. It's rebounding too, isn't it, Brad?
That is a nice segue.
Okay.
No, you know what?
We wrote it. We wrote it down.
No, we're doing. We have about $500 million of development we're going to be pushing to Hamilton in the next 8 to 10 years, 0 to 10 years. And our first project we're going to call Television City. And we bought with partners the CHCH
Nice.
television site.
No way.
Good man.
It's about an acre downtown. And we're planning the highest building in Hamilton and a very tall building next to it. And there's the Southern Mansion is part of this property. It's a 1860 historic stone mansion that you do not see houses like this in Toronto. It's a spectacular old house. And the whole thing is going to be about $300 million, $400 million.
Is that a good place for people to invest real estate right now?
It is the best place on the planet right now. Hamilton is is on fire. Real estate prices are going up faster than pretty well anywhere in Canada. Perhaps Vancouver was.
Down 33%, I heard last month.
Not prices, volume of sales.
Volume
prices
sales.
are still going up.
Okay.
Prices, I think, are up like 8% or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But Hamilton's prices are going up. They've done a great job in James Street. Locke Street's beautiful. A lot of houses being renovated. There's probably 15 new condo projects being built downtown. The Connaught Hotel, historic hotel, is being renovated with a condo attached to it.
So because we should do this more because it's promoting TorontoCondos.com, obviously, and what you do. But if someone right now is listening, going, you know what, I got $70,000 in the bank, and I wanna invest in a small condo going up, or maybe something in Hamilton. Like, how would you steer people towards your agents and as an investment property to rent out and things like that? Like, what would you say to them? Because we actually never really get into that side of it.
People ask me all the time, what's the next neighborhood in Toronto? And I say the next neighborhoods in Toronto are part of the big growth of Toronto, which, if you go to Pickering and to Hamilton and north to Barrie, that's really what Toronto is going to be in 15 and 20 years. You have to see that, right? So right now you're going to buy a new condo, downtown for $800 a foot. Okay, that's what it's going to cost you to get in early and buy a condo at $800 a foot. We're going to do Television City, which is going to be every bit as good as anything we do here, at $525 a foot. So 25% less, and the rents are maybe 15 to 18% less in Hamilton. Rents are high in Hamilton. No one has built apartment buildings in Hamilton in 50 years. There's a shortage of rentals there, a huge shortage of rentals. So we're going to bring our kind of product there, and they're going to show better returns on investment than they do in Toronto.
And Hamilton is really optimum as far as the GTA growth.
It is.
Look at what's happened to Burlington. I mean, and Hamilton's got
it's next
great
in line.
traditions, and CHCH was beloved
Well,
in
it's still
Hamilton.
around. By the way, we just bought the building. They're moving. They're still in business. They're an active enterprise. They're going to move out of that building in the next 2 years and find a new home. It was too much for them. This is too expensive or too big. But here's the thing about Hamilton. You can take the GO train and be there in 55 minutes. You can be a young person. You can live in central Hamilton. You can work downtown Toronto, and you can get here faster than pretty well any other 905 community. Faster than it can be. I mean, if you want to drive from Oakville, it'll take you an hour and a half.
Sure.
Take the train direct to Toronto. It's unbelievable. And you can buy a house there. You can buy a $400,000 house, which would be $1.6 million in Toronto. And
No way.
beautiful. Let me tell you, beautiful turn of the century mini mansions, the kind you see in the annex, are a quarter to a fifth of the price.
And it's great value.
Let's talk after the show.
Yeah.
No, it's Hamilton is a good value. Hamilton
TorontoCondos.com if you want to learn all about that. But what I want to do now is play a game.
Brad J. Lamb's Receipts.
Oh my God.
Because my receipts are like, pizza. Not anything wrong with pizza, but it's $8.99. But I want to see what Brad's are. Oh, it's always a taxi.
Back taxi.
There's got to be a real. I'd love to go through your V. Do you have a black card?
I do.
Oh, see, I'd love to go through that receipt.
Yes. Well, see, those receipts don't end up in my pocket. They get sent to my office. Yeah. It's always going to be a taxi receipt, a bar receipt, or a lunch receipt.
So we got to get your.
It's the biggest bar receipt you've had.
Oh man. Thousands.
Like athletes.
The last big one I had was $700 at Le Société
Where's
with
that?
clients.
La Societe.
Oh, the Societe.
Society.
Okay, yeah.
Society, whatever.
Yeah. That's a great restaurant. by the way.
Bloor University.
Let's pitch you some ideas now. You ready for this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Would Brad invest in this?
Brad J. Lamb is our dragon. He's a guy who's got more money than you and me and Andrew and JJ and Bilal and Lewis for sure combined.
You know what? Bilal's
that
ass is
ain't
worth
saying
a
much.
fortune.
No, that's not saying much
His
at all.
ass is worth a fortune.
Bilal's ass is worth a fortune.
A fortune.
His virgin ass. His 28-year-old virgin ass.
A lot of hamsters.
JJ, do you have anything you want to pitch Brad J. Lamb? Come on.
Just the brand of JJ Lieberman. Just the
Okay,
the brand of that's a good
product.
brand.
That's a product.
It's
JJ Lieberman.
Andrew Crystal is a supporter, a very unique style and brand of comedy that's performed on Caroline's on Broadway Comedy Club with Yuck Yucks 4 years in. I'm headlining in January. It's like probably one of the quickest to headline in the modern era of Toronto comedy. I don't know.
Who the fuck is this guy?
That was
You'll
my
know him
pitch.
soon. That's why
That
we
was my
need the
pitch.
branding support. We got to do the branding support.
Did I lose that one?
Apparently. You didn't see what's his return going to be.
Oh no, there's no return.
Oh, you just get the money.
Yeah, just get the money, and that's it.
Andrew Christel, I'm scared, co-hosting today. Thank you for being here, man. Very funny guy.
It's
Legendary
great.
Canadian broadcaster here. I'm
I've got
nervous.
this idea.
I'm nervous.
Don't laugh.
Okay.
An electric car dealership in the Middle East.
That actually would probably do quite well. Wow. I'm sure they're already been being planned. Tesla's probably sold their franchises to some Saudi oil prince.
All right, I have
But
a second
kudos
one.
for you. That's going to make lots
I have
of
a
money.
second one. Novelty pajamas. You don't like to dress up, but this is nighttime. As you get older, right? I'm 50. I can't see the same way, right?
Okay.
So, like Odysseus, the lamb, he felt the lamb, right? Right? There's a lot of feeling with the Brad Lamb story. Heart and feeling as well as touching. So I want novelty pajamas that glow in the dark. So when I wake up and I have to go to the bathroom 9 times in the night, right? I can see. What do you think? Novelty pajamas that glow in the dark.
Now I'm thinking, are you
Think about it.
Are you
Don't
sleeping
throw
alone?
this idea out right away.
Are you sleeping alone?
No, I have a whiff.
Well, so that might keep her up.
See?
What if she's wearing them too?
Well, it might keep you both up.
No, she doesn't.
Now, is that a good thing?
No. And are you sleeping next to each
So
other?
I'm putting the thumbs down on that idea.
All right.
Okay, Bilal.
All right.
Here goes Bilal.
All right.
You gotta.
It's
All
a
right.
good
But the
preamble
Middle
for me.
East one is huge.
One for one.
Yeah.
So as you see, we've got Lewis using the camera, and backstory, I actually own that camera. And, we're not the strongest of hands. Me, Lewis, you've met Pedro. We're not very muscular men. So I think what we need is an apparatus
I
to
was going to say,
strengthen
speak
our
for
hands.
yourself, right? That's what you're
No,
thinking.
I know Pedro. I've had dinner with
on
these
the
guys.
that would
but-
be so cool, like a hamster wheel on the camera.
No, I was thinking of a glove, like a sure glove that would allow you to essentially lock your fingers and elbows and your hands into a position where it wouldn't create stress on the hand.
Sorry, Brad.
But it would lock you. It would lock you in an
Okay,
upright. filling
last
position.
week, didn't he have a glove idea last week too?
No, it's hot
It was-
pockets for the body.
Yeah. It was
It was
sort
a
of like
hand-related.
taking.
It was a
Yes.
hand-related thing. What's with you and the hands?
I don't know. Very self-conscious.
Okay, that's a fucking terrible idea.
That's a standard response every week. I love it. Okay, I actually have a good idea.
Give me something to work with here.
Okay, Brad, I like this idea. No. And it's I don't think it's a big investment from you either, which is nice. So everyone's into Halloween. And I'll say it was really neat, even being sort of downtown Toronto from the 2 years that I've lived in a house now, and I was used to be in condos. I've noticed a lot more families downtown. So there's a lot more families downtown Toronto taking part in the Halloween. And the Halloween decorations outside are becoming more elaborate, much like you'd see in suburbs. So I thought to myself, wow, I'm really paying attention to this. And, I'm impressed by people. But then what happens right after Halloween ends? The second after Halloween ends, people take that stuff down and then start putting up Christmas decorations. So I thought, because every 2-in-1 idea to me is $1 million idea, why don't we have like a ghostly Halloween thing that you just flip around and now it's a reindeer. So you don't have to go up, take down, strike, or you have a tree that has, crazy sort of things, and then you pull it down, or you flip something up and it's a tree now, which is Halloween with Christmas ornaments and stuff. So you don't have to do the double the labor of removing everything. 2-in-1.
What would Kevin O'Leary say to that?
There's
Don't
a very,
give up your day job.
Brad, you know what? All you guys, I'm very interested in this because there is an actual product that was introduced to me. I got a call. This guy comes in, not a joke, holding a urinal, right? And I go, what? He goes, it's very light. It's a polycarbonate. This is not a joke. It's a waterless urinal manufactured by the Germans, okay? And it's in Zurich, it's Swiss German. Waterless urinal, so there's no water phase. It doesn't stink because they are able to de-acidify the uric acid. And it has a hi-fi enabled, high-def flat screen embedded in the top of the urinal. So if you're live streaming at a stadium, you get to see the game live streamed. Like it's an actual product. It's 4 years in Europe.
You know what?
And it's just coming out here.
Yeah.
And these are actual clients of mine.
That's a great idea. I tell you something. You often, when you're driving, and you're driving a long distance, you have to take a piss.
Yep.
You can get out and pee on the road, which I do all the time, which isn't probably right, but I do it.
You get out of the
It's either
Ferrari
that
and go
or
and take a
I
piss on the side?
Piss in my car.
Do you get out of the Ferrari and go take a piss on the side?
Sometimes
You're
I
the
do.
king, man. That's
Sometimes
why I love
or
you.
If I know I'm going to be staying out late and I'm with a lot of people, I'll get a car that night and I'll make the driver pull over and go into an alley. And that does happen on time. Hate to say it. That idea is great.
It's a real product. It's just a
fantastic.
company called Swiss Eco is the distributor, and they're my clients.
Yeah, that is a very
I have a
good
marketing
idea.
firm.
I
So
like that idea.
That's a very good idea.
Isn't that interesting?
We have one more game for you, Brad, and then we have Brittany Cristanos coming in to talk about a book. We're going to get like nicely inspirational here. This is a 19-year-old girl who didn't speak until after the age of 7. She's got a book. Brad, we kept you on longer. I'm going to play some Jeopardy music here for this one. We have 3 stories because you're a parent. How old's your daughter?
She's going to turn 4 in 2 weeks.
Oh, congrats. And a great dad. She came back from Disney World a couple months ago. There are some bad parents out there. I don't know if you've heard.
Yes, I've heard.
So I have a piece of paper here with some stories, and one of them isn't true. And I want you to tell me which one isn't true. A mother arrested for leaving a child at Taco Bell. A hunter dad went out and his rifle discharged, and that discharge shot 2 children, 2 of his kids. Or parents injected children with what they quoted as to help them sleep. Feel-good medicine. They injected them with heroin. Feel-good medicine to help them sleep.
Okay, that story I know is true because I saw that story in the news. Is that it? Those are the 3
That's
stories?
true.
I think that story is true, yeah.
And the other 2?
I'm going to say the Taco Bell one's not crazy enough, so that probably is not true.
You know what? They're all true. I just fucked with you a little bit. How crazy.
all true.
What is wrong with parents? Doesn't it sad? Does it scare you?
Bilal's parents found him in a Taco Bell.
Okay. They just disown him because he's Muslim.
It's very confusing. To this day,
Well, there's pork there.
it's hard for him to find a restaurant. To this day.
What I wanted to do, though, because Brad, not to kiss your ass too much, but I do have the utmost respect for you. At TorontoCondos.com. Go there for great investments and live in a lamb, the highest standard condominium finishes you're going to find in the entire industry. This is actually a very nice story, and Brad, I think for someone like you, you'll love this story, and this is a true story, especially someone who travels a lot. I found this is a really nice story, and there's no joke here whatsoever, I promise you. Dad takes his daughter trick-or-treating on a plane so she wouldn't miss Halloween. They were traveling during the time you would normally go trick-or-treating. She sat in a row, and he went down and gave every single passenger candy. And then he asked him very politely with a note and said, would you mind if my daughter walks down the aisle of a plane and, does her trick-or-treating, and you give her candy? And I feel like that's something you would think of
That's
and do.
so sweet. Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
That's nice.
Yeah, no joke. Just thought it would be humility, man. That's
Glad I didn't sit beside that kid.
Okay.
I hate kids. I hated myself as a child. I hate kids.
Brad, enjoy the World Series game tonight.
Yes, sir.
And let's get out to a Raptor game one time soon.
I'm going on Friday, by the way.
Oh, way to rub it in. By the way, the Warriors are coming to town November 16th, so if you have tickets for that one.
I have tickets for that one.
If you don't... Well said. If you don't have a date for that one, thank you to Brad J. Lamb. Go and follow him on Twitter and TorontoCondos.com. All right, we really appreciate you watching that video. Make sure you check out some more videos. Why not? Let's get caught in the Shapiro Show vortex right here. Or you can subscribe to the channel right here and check out videos at any point because we're going to give you all the alerts. We do appreciate you being a part of our family. Most families hate each other. Not ours. We love you.